Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I am Evil Mike. Glad to have you here with me. These are going to be my reviews from comics that were released on 7/7/2021. I had a brain fart. This is part 3. This is the next books in the ongoing cycle that is the books that were released from this week. This is 6 books. I said 5. I threw in an extra one. So first up, we're going to do the one that I'm the most fuzziest with. For some reason, I keep losing the story. I've had to look at the comic like 3 times to remember what the heck was going on. It was a good read. This is the Peach Momoko. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 70. It was a good read. This is the first time I'm reading Spider-Man in like 10 years. The last time I read Spider-Man was the Superior Spider-Man story, so I'm a little behind. I will say the one negative that for me as a like getting back into Spider-Man, it really doesn't catch you up. They kind of give you some brief summaries, but I mean, if I didn't know, if I was a brand new Spider-Man reader, I would be so lost if I jumped in on this issue. And as I remember it, this was the issue that they promoted to jump on board, for new fans, because the Sinister War is coming. Yeah, this is not a jumping on point for new fans. If you don't know nothing about Spider-Man, you're going to be lost like crazy. So we show Peter Parker showing up, and the Sinister Six has kidnapped Dr. Connors, who is AKA the Lizard. And basically, at the same moment, Dr. Connors was about to, have an experimental breakthrough where he was about to get rid of the Lizard, Dr. Octopus, and what looks like it's like the Sinister Four at the moment. But they kind of altered his experiment, and it basically, it's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but in the worst case, because now Dr. Connors is separated from the Lizard. They are 2 separate beings with their own memories, thoughts, that kind of thing. Peter Parker does get there, Spider-Man, to rush Connor away to, the sewers, where I did not know this, but Connors has a lizard family of his own. I know about Dr. Connors, I know the Lizard, I know him and Peter Parker are friends. Student-teacher type thing, but I didn't know. I know Dr. Connors had a family back in the day, but I didn't know they were like Lizard family. That's new to me. We do have this backstory because something that has been going on, but they do fill you in on that. Mary Jane is looking for her friend, and I'm drawing a blank at her name, something Cooper. She's at Avengers Mansions asking around about her friend. We know, well, I guess y'all are supposed to know if you're reading this comic, but Kindred has her, and I don't know who Kindred is. He's brand new for me too. But I thought he was pretty cool. I'd say the only thing that I don't like about Kindred, it's really hard to figure out what's going on with him. Like, is he just a bunch of insects with a mask? I mean, he looks cool and everything, but I don't know what the heck's going on with Kindred. Please inform me if you do know what the heck's going on with Kindred. But basically, he has Harry and this other girl kidnapped. At the time, I think this is this Cooper girl and Carrie Cooper maybe, and she is kind of like back thinking, and she's like, man, I should reveal the truth to Harry. But at the same time, she has seen that it looks like Harry is dead, and so this might be a clone or something else. Maybe that the one dead is the clone. So she's kind of hesitant about talking to Harry. At the same time, we get like, it's kind of just a weird schmuck, but we get Overdrive, and he's at this like supervillain bar, and we see a whole bunch of like villains I do know, like Boomerang, Speed Demon, Shocker. Shocker's one of my favorite. I hate that he gets titled as a B-lister villain. But we do get that Overdrive is trying to hire Boomerang to do some job that is not disclosed in this issue. It's supposedly recently it looks like Overdrive was a villain, and now he's kind of like leaning more to the anti-hero type thing. They do show some more with the Sinister Six, and that Kindred is specifically working with Dr. Octopus and the Sinister Six. This is all part of his plan, and he's basically he shows who the next member is going to be, and this is Mysterio, another one of my favorites. I do love that they put the skull in there, but so I think at this time it might be the Sinister Five. They're still building up. I don't think Kindred counts as one of these six. But basically that's kind of it. It does show like the Sinister War, because it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factions of Sinister Six groups that are going to fight. But it shows you right here in this big spread, and you'll see it's like 5 different panels. There are some that I'm very familiar with. You know, I mean, they're major, you know, Spider-Man villains: Sandman, Doc Ock, Kraven, Lizard, Electro, and the first one. Then the other one, you got like it's Taskmaster, Jack-o'-lantern, and I don't know, a bunch of these guys. And this one looks like Boomerang, Overdrive, Shocker, Speed Demon, and I don't know who he is. Over here it looks like Rhino. I don't know who he is. Scorpion. I don't know who he is. I forget this guy's name. Black Tarantula, Vulture. And over here it looks like a female version of the Sinister Six. And I don't know a lot of these. I do recognize this bunny girl. She shows up on a lot of covers. I don't know her name. I see like a female Electro, which I didn't know that existed. And I don't know who any of the other girl Spider-Man villains. So please send me a message and let me know. But that is leading up to Sinister War #1 and Amazing Spider-Man 71. For first read back into Spider-Man's world, it was not a bad read. The art was actually really, really good. The only thing I can say, it was not set up on a basic level at all. You have to have some kind of Spider-Man knowledge and a little bit of knowledge on what's going on, and I kind of know a little bit because I do follow a lot of YouTubers. Next up, we're going to go Extreme Carnage #1, Scotty Young cover. This is my first Scotty Young cover. I've seen a lot. They always sell out. But this is Extreme Carnage Alpha, and it's setting up that Carnage has survived. I'm lost on what's going on with Carnage, but this is following the events of the King in Black and what Null did, and it's talking about it's basically setting up like a human registration kind of act where like they're all against aliens because of what happened in this like symbiote war or something. So again, I'm behind on Marvel. This one was very easy to follow through. A lot of the stuff that they're mentioning, like they talk about the King in Black and Null and stuff like that, but it's really Carnage. You know, he's talking about it. But basically, we found out that Carnage has survived. That's the shot here. He's moving from like creature to creature to creature, but he's got a plan and a plot that's coming down. That's basically what this whole book is this two things setting up. One is Carnage. He's got some big like war coming. He's got a big plan. Next up is this human. You know, it's like a senator. It reminds me a lot of like the early X-Men days and their fight, possibly still going on. But the whole human versus mutant thing, it's kind of like that. But instead of humans and mutants, it's humans and aliens. I will say there is a good amount of blood in this book. It was very nice. Especially the way they draw it. I did love all the Carnage scenes. They were amazing. Flash Thompson is the other main character, and I guess he's been suppressing the anti-venom suit, and he's kind of hiding. We do get a scene where Iron Man approaches Flash along the way, because Flash starts having these weird like premonitions. He's having this pull with Carnage because they are connected symbiote-wise, and he's getting visions of like what Carnage is kind of doing, and he's being pulled to where Carnage is. There's that one point where he gets pulled into a trap that Carnage has set up. But I mean, that's basically the main plot and everything that's in the story. Iron Man is trying to recruit Flash to kind of infiltrate what Carnage has done, because Carnage is moving from person to person and being to being. But it's a lot of like the human and versus the alien situation was more of the book. It was a very good read. It was a very quick read, I can say that. It wasn't bad at all. The art was really good. I want to say that Spider-Man 71 definitely had better art than this book, but not by far. They both had really good art. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one. This one's kind of like, it was a very like basic chunk of the story to get us started, I can say. Next up, a very good read this week was Batman 110. Honestly, this is the jock cover. I think this is my first jock cover as well. No, I think I probably have more jock because I have a lot of covers that look just like this because Batman. But I mean, if y'all are not reading Batman, Batman has been excellent, especially like the last 10 issues. This whole introduction with American Molly and Fear State and, you know, the Peacekeeper program. It's just excellent and badass. I'm just gonna go through basically this is Batman's being like fear factored poisoned by Scarecrow, but it's not a poison this time. He's using like lights and technology to induce the fear thing. Batman is like trying to like overwhelm himself, like trying to get basis on what's going on, that kind of thing. And he's having a major problem because it's the first time he's encountered this type of fear light, you know, hologram type stuff that Scarecrow is now implying. At the same time, we do have Sean Mahoney as Peacemaker #1, and I mean, he's just beating the crap out of Batman while Batman's trying to go through this whole fear thing. At the same time, we got Miracle Molly and the Insanity Collective, and they're trying to, you know, they kind of see everything that's going down. They're trying, you know, they're trying to evacuate and get out of there because they do know the Magistrate is after them. At the same time, the Bat family with Barbara and Nightwing, they understand that Bruce is in trouble and they are trying to, you know, get there in time. They do arrange something with Ghostmaker, which was so badass in this book. I love Ghostmaker so much. But the fight with Batman and Peacemaker, it is epic. It's not like, I mean, it's Batman, and if you know Batman, I mean, there are times when he looks like he's taking a beating, but I mean, this guy just keeps going and going. They have this building on lockdown, and Batman has to do some Batman stuff to get out of the building. Ghostmaker is able to save him. They kind of like regroup, you know, Harley, Ghostmaker, and I love the way they are drawing Harley here. I mean, she's just, she's sexy. I don't know what else to say. But they're regrouping, trying to, you know, collect everything. At the same time, Simon Saint with the Magistrate is just moving forward what he's got planned. Peacemaker really wants to follow Batman. He is not in line with the whole like let him get away. But you know, Simon Saint has this dog on a leash, and he's like, hey, we got something bigger. And the bigger is they're after the Insanity Collective with Miracle Molly. I hope that's their group name, Insanity Collective. But they're basically, and that's like the end of this book, but they're basically going to this raid, and it makes it look like, you know, Miracle Molly and her crew right here, they're surrendering, and they're establishing that they have no weapons and blah blah blah, and we see right here that Simon Saint and Peacemaker 1, you know, they're not for all that. They're gonna go ahead and massacre everybody. So that's what the next issue is leading up to, the raid. I wouldn't say that's a spoiler because the next issue is called The Raid. Alright, so next up we have a Ghostmaker side story. Again, all these side stories have been really good. A lot of people complain about the side stories. Honestly, sometimes the side stories are better than the main comic, which is really bizarre. This is continuing as chapter 4 on the Ghostmaker side story. And it's just, this basic story was, I think it's these 4 villains that are trying to, you know, take out Ghostmaker, and it's this like Midas Queen, this alligator looking guy, but this is basically like this alligator, you know, bad guy, and he's telling this queen she needs to stop, and that it doesn't matter, Ghostmaker's going to win, and if she doesn't stop, you know, in her hubris, she's gonna lose. And you know, the alligator kind of tells this story about, like, you know, there are no tricks or anything. I mean, he fought Ghostmaker without any of his armor or his weapons, and Ghostmaker just, I mean, it took a long time, but in the story he just, you know, whittled him down over time and took him down. In the end, we do see where this story goes, and it seems like the Queen Midas lady, or I don't know what her name is, but that she does take the alligator's, you know, suggestion, and that's where I'm gonna leave it there. Next up, we got Fight Girls from Frank Chow. This is AWA Upshot. I'm going to meet him on the 31st, get a couple signed books. One of them is going to be in my next giveaway. That's what I've decided to do with it. And think that'll be a cool book. Get a Fight Girls, signed by Frank Chow. Might get him to double sign it inside and out. I don't know. It's basically like Running Man and Fight Girl. We got 10 women, 4 challenges, 1 crown, winner rules the empire. And that's basically what it is. It sets up this story, and I kind of like vaguely you picked it up, but it's basically like king and queen can't have kids, so like they offered up to like 10 women to, I think, have the baby for the king or something like that, become a surrogate or something like that. So these 10 women from different places on this planet do fight or like do these challenges to become the queen or the surrogate. But I'm just showing you art. The art was spectacular, man. Frank Chow, man. This book was amazing all the way through. I mean, I had seen preview art of it, so I kind of already knew. But the book is just, it's full with nothing but, girl goodness. But in a nutshell, it's kind of what it is. There's odds and bets that are being placed. They have 4 challenges they have to go, like jungle, desert, ocean, something like that. But like this is the first challenge, and it's like a jungle challenge, and it's kind of stated here that the land hasn't been touched for like thousands of years. So there's all kind of dangerous creatures. Like as you can see right here, there is a good amount of blood and violence. I will say that the first issue kind of, it jumpstarted. I don't know how many issues it is. I think 5 issues. I was about to say I think AWA is always 5 issues, but it gets off with a real bang, because I'll show you right here. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Some of them girls just don't make it out of the first couple pages. Right there, look at that big old alligator. He had to get him some girl right there. Like right here, you can see her like right there. She bit to dust. But basically that's it. It's like all this first challenge. At the end of the book, we do see this subplot where it looks like one of the girls has kind of like snuck it into the competition, maybe like some spy sneakery stuff to become the queen. That's kind of like the backup story. Overall, it was a great read. It was fun. The art was, just amazing. I can't wait to meet this guy. I will show you where I want one of the signatures to go for my PC book. I think it will be very funny if I can get him to do this. But I want his signature right there on the white. I'm not gonna go into detail, but yeah, if you can just use your imagination, and there is a nice white spot on the book right there where I would like his signature. I think that would be really cool for my book. Next up, we got Basilisk by Boom, chapter number 2, and I'll tell you what, man, if you're not on this train, you're missing out. The first book was okay. I was on board. I went ahead with the second issue. I like the setup. It's kind of like a dark X-Men or something, some New Mutants type of thing. It's like some kids that were experimented on. Now they're all grown up. They do have superpowers, and they're deadly superpowers. You know what I'm saying? I will say what, second issue was way better than the first. It didn't disappoint. Colin Bunn brought it to the table. The art is just amazing. It is Jonas Scarf. I hope I'm saying that right. But I'm just going to go through and show you some more art. We are setting up like kind of some continuing scenes from when they escape that institute and they kind of go crazy on this town. It's what the whole book is set up on. But they show right here, the 5 different sensed powers, and that's what it is. All 5 of these different people, they have powers, and they're all related to a site. The main girl, Andrea, I think that's her name, or Randy, I don't remember. But the main girl, she has like powers, and that's why she wears a thing where if she, she sees you or you see her, you instantly turn to like mush. I will say they do in the very beginning. We get to see this other girl's powers, and I don't know what the heck's going on there, but it looked like she just touched that person and they like caught on fire, like they just they gone. The book is continuing off right where we left off. This girl is like kidnapped this girl, and her backstory is she lost her family due to that massacre that her and her friends were a part of. It's stated in this book that the main girl, the blind girl, whatever, the girl with the mask, Andrea, but she doesn't remember, like from a couple days ago, she doesn't remember the massacre. I think there's like bits and pieces. We do have other scenes where we finally get to see some dialogue from the other 4 members of the group. But they are like slowly tracking her, looking for her. We do get to see some of their powers in use right here, which is very graphic. Not so graphic, but it was actually pretty cool to see. We do get to see the hearing. This guy can hear everything, and supposedly, like, as long as you can, I mean, he can hear anywhere around around the world type thing. Some of their powers are vaguely gone into, and a lot of it you kind of have to use your imagination, not in a bad way, but I mean, it's not like they sit there and like, our powers are dot 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 dot. I mean, some of this is left up to your imagination. So they don't really go into like how, I mean, he just kind of shows up and she starts talking and he's just listening, and he can talk and somehow she can hear. So I don't know how that works, but because I get the hearing part, but how is she able to hear him if it's, I don't know. We do get like a lot of talk from their leader, and she's talking to this guy that has talked to her, and basically she's informing him that this is all part of the plan, that she knew that this girl was kind of gonna stay on the run with this girl, that she was gonna betray the group to a degree. She knows that her other two people that are looking for Andrea, and that's these people right here, these two, it's this guy and this girl, that they're kind of like the loose cannons, and she knows that they're going to go off script. Let's see. And that's basically it. We get to see, like, at the very end, and it's not really spoiler, but we do get like some panels of her powers, like if you can see with her eyes. And I mean, the art in this was just fantastic. It is the same art it looks like on the cover. It was just, I mean, yeah. Last but not least, we do have Nocterra, number 5, and this book just keeps getting better and better. I think I have one small complaint, and I'll get at that later. But Scott Snyder's killing it with the writing. Tony S. Daniel with the art. It's just amazing. This is a cover D. It's by Francesco Francavilla. I hope I said that right. I really dug that cover. I thought it was the better looking one. I'm already invested in the series, so at this point, it's whatever cover appeals to me. We're getting more on the backstory with, and I don't remember her name. I think it's Val, but we're getting more on the backstory of Val and M. Haha. And now they're meeting up with Tiberius, which is the twin brother to Augustus that we met in the beginning of the story. They are at this sanctuary, and we do get to see that the brother was telling the truth, that there is this light here. It's like they call it the God light. The location that they're at is the prism, and it is explained that both brothers were, they are named after like the first Roman emperors, and it's kind of like a play on their parents. One of them was really smart, which was Augustus, or Gus, let's just say, and the other one, Tiberius, is the kind of like more financial smart guy, but not so much as far as the genius level. At one point, his brother does come across, and he wants him to build these prisms, and we do find out that these prisms are all around the planet, just kind of, selectively put out there. Tiberius tells him that Gus had told him right before the PM event happened, where the world went black, that he needed to make it to this prism with the group. So that's kind of the backstory on that. Val and M, they barely make it in here. They're taken inside. M was on the edge of turning himself. This page right here is M right here, literally turning into whatever the darkness is. He is literally transforming into these creatures. We do see that M is saved by this prison light. They have this thing called the cradle, and they leave him in the cradle, and the sunlight naturally heals him. We get a lot of the continuing backstory that's happened in each of the issue, going back to M and Val when they first went through the PM event with their parents. We do get to see a crazy cool panel of, like, they call them rays, but they're the human versions of these darkness creatures. It is explained that, like right here, they show you in some of these panels that these creatures are speaking a language. We have not figured it out. We do get a lot of the backstory, because after they have cured M, he has, like, on some level, he doesn't even know what type of level, but on some level he has been able to, like, communicate, and he's getting visions. and he is basically telling them that this is like a war that's coming to a head. It's been a war that's been fought since the beginning of time, and it's basically light and dark. And they got the dark enemy on Earth, and the light are coming to finish the battle. Basically, the dark, what he had seen is the darkness. This is like the first step of the main battle that's coming. He has explained that the enemies to the dark are these, like, just embossed and holy light figures. He said they were so bright he couldn't really see them. Of course, if they were nothing but light, it would be hard to look at, especially if we're talking sunlight. They are given a choice whether they want to stay at the prison, because basically it's kind of like one of those situations where like they have to stay at the prison or they can't leave type thing. Val instantly wants to do it, and she's pretty sure that's what M wants to do. And after M wakes up, he doesn't want to do it because of everything he has found out about the darkness and everything. They do get to this, I mean, the struggle, there is this argument between brother and sister, because this has been the whole plot, like they just want to be somewhere safe, and he's trying to stress to her that this, I mean, we thought that was the way in the beginning, but now that I know more information, he was like, it's kind of a nowhere safe situation. There is, at the very end, a very, and this is the last page of the art I can show you without revealing a major spoiler, but the other backstory is with, and I'm going to remember her call sign, but she finally develops her call sign, but that is Piper. I don't remember her real name, bad with names, but it's like a little small part of the story where Piper is coming up with the backstory, and we get a reason on why she picked Piper, and it's because of a sandpiper bird. The story is phenomenal. It just keeps getting better. The next issue, this was supposed to be like the pivotal issue that you couldn't miss. I wouldn't say that. I really think it's going to be the next issue. There is a lot of the origin. There is a lot of like story build up, but I think the next one is the because where the last page of this book leaves off. But hey, guess what? That was another 6 books from this week. I have, I think, 4 more. Technically I have 6 more, but Carmen is one of them, the 5th issue, and I have not read issues 2, 3, 4, and 5 because I'm missing issue 3. I have 2, and I'm going to read that one, but I have not located number 3. If y'all have seen Carmen number 3, please reach out to me. I'm not afraid of buying it. I will buy it. It's not something I'm asking for. I just want to read in Carmen. I'm very much interested in the first book, so I'm curious to see how the rest of the series comes out. But I will read the rest of the books, and y'all will get the last part of the review coming up soon. Thank y'all for watching. I will put time codes so you can skip where you want to skip. Like, subscribe, hit that bell over there. Please, please, please comment. Y'all have a great day, and go read some comics, get some sleep, eat some food. Have a good day, guys. Bye.